deal of care and attention goes into getting the grass to the state of perfection.
For example?
For example, 1 ton of grass seed and 3 million litres of water a year, and a team of 14 groundsmen.
14?
Yes, 14. But you know, Wimbledon's famous grass surface can cause problems.
What sort of problems?
Today, very few top-level championships are played on grass. The world's top players just aren't used to playing on grass anymore. And some top players really dislike grass.
Were grass courts more common in the past?
Yes, they were. 3 of the 4 Grand Slam tournaments used to be played on grass.
I guess the one exception was the Roland Garros tournament in Paris. That's always been played on clay, right?
That's right, Eric, but the Australian and the US Opens, which were originally played on grass, have now switched to surfaces requiring less maintenance, leaving only Wimbledon with a surface on which tennis originated.
And what difference does the surface make?
Actually, it makes a big difference, Eric. On grass courts, for example, serves can be very, very fast, over 210 kilometres per hour, and the ball tends to bounce lower than on other surfaces, giving attacking players an advantage.
And the alternatives?
One alternative is the clay surface of the courts of Roland Garros in Paris. Here, compared with Wimbledon, the game tends to be slower and the ball bounces higher, giving the defensive players the advantage.
Fascinating. Okay, thank you, John. One last question. Where exactly is Wimbledon?
Wimbledon is a pleasant, leafy suburb in southwest London. Obviously, it's famous all around the world for the tennis championships that take place there every summer.
Okay, thank you again.
Thank you. Goodbye.
And goodbye to you, and see you again next week for another edition of Sports Special. Today's topic was one of the most important tennis tournaments in the world. A tournament is a sports competition. Did you know the first Wimbledon Tennis Championship took place in 1877? To take place means to happen in a certain location. A championship is like a tournament. There are a series of games and there is a winner, a champion. Today, Wimbledon has nearly 500,000 spectators. Spectators are people who watch something from a short distance. And millions of viewers follow the championship on TV. Viewers are people who watch something on TV. We can also say to follow something on TV. A person who plays tennis is called a tennis player. Tennis is played on a tennis court. The Wimbledon Championships are played on grass courts. Tennis courts with a grass surface. They require a lot of maintenance. Maintenance means care and looking after. The other 3 famous Grand Slam tournaments are all played on clay courts. A clay court has a fine red earth surface. The first shot in tennis is called a serve. A series of shots between players is called a rally. When the ball hits the ground, we say it bounces. The ball tends to bounce higher on clay courts, and it bounces lower on grass courts. To tend to do something, this means it has a habit of doing something. On grass courts, the game tends to be faster. Wimbledon is a leafy suburb in South London. A suburb is an area of houses away from the city centre, and leafy means there are a lot of trees. That's about it for today. I'll see you on Sports Special next week. Bye-bye.
Welcome to all our viewers. Lisa, this is our last show together. I hope you've enjoyed these informal chats as much as I have.
Of course, it's been fun for me as well.
Now then, what are you going to talk about today?
I've received quite a few emails from people who want to learn about wine tasting. You know it's become very trendy these days.
Great. I wouldn't mind understanding a little more about wine myself.
Let's begin with the right approach to wine. First of all, before drinking it, one should appreciate the taste of wine. There are 3 steps to correct wine tasting: look, smell, and taste.
Well, what should one look for?
Colour is the first thing. Whites range from green to yellow to brown. and red ones can be pale red to deep brown.
Is the color of wine related to age?
The general rule is whites tend to darken with age. It's usually the opposite for red ones.
Now, tell me, Lisa, why do people tend to swirl their wine before tasting it?
For two reasons: to observe the body of the wine and smell its aroma.
Now, how do aromas of wines differ?
Well, there are many different kinds of bouquet. For example, perfumed, spicy, smoky, and toasty. Well, now it's time to taste.
Oh, before tasting, how should wines be poured?
Let me show you. Still wines, like this one, should be poured towards the centre of the glass. Remember that sparkling wines, on the other hand, should be poured against the side of the glass.
Why is that?
So the bubbles don't escape. So, now try sloshing the wine yourself. Observe it carefully. Are there good legs?
Legs? What do you mean?
Can you see the droplets on the glass?
Yes.
Well, they indicate a thick body of the wine. Now, have a first sip. Swish the wine around your mouth and give us your first impression.
It's, how can I say, slightly bitter. Seems like a fruity taste to me.
You see, you've already identified two wine flavours. Now, take another sip and see if you can't taste the tannin.
I'm not really sure.
In the beginning, it's difficult to define a wine. This is, without a doubt, a round, full-bodied wine.
Now, I notice you chose this glass for red wine. What are those glasses for?
This glass for red wine is called a Rhine glass. This tulip-shaped glass is for white wines, and that flute is for sparkling wines.
And those items over there are the basic wine utensils, aren't they?
Yes, this is a corkscrew, and this is a foil cutter. Other useful objects are a drip catcher and a decanter.
Well, I'm sure there's a myriad of things that we could say about wine, but unfortunately our time is up. Lisa, thank you for being such a great hostess.
My pleasure.
Now, let's have a look at the language we used. Lisa said that wine tasting has 3 steps. When we look at wine, we study its appearance. When we take a whiff of wine, we smell it so as to appreciate the bouquet. This is also called aroma or nose. It can be perfumed, fruity, appley, berry-like for example, bitter, toasty, smoky, spicy, and so on. I asked about swirling. This is moving the glass around quickly to draw in some air. When you slosh wine, the movement is more agitated. Legs are the viscous drops that form and run down the sides of the glass after swirling wine. A body refers to the weight of wine in one's mouth. Wines can be defined round, full-bodied, medium-bodied, or light-bodied. Aftertaste defines the taste that remains in one's mouth, length of time, after swallowing. Tannin is a chemical compound from bark, wood, etc., used in tanning. It mostly refers to red wines. Then Lisa describes a different method in pouring still wines, wines without bubbles, or sparkling wines, wines with bubbles. Now, a quick look at wine utensils. A corkscrew is what we use for pulling corks out of bottles. A drip catcher will avoid drops falling on the tablecloth. To let wines breathe, we use a decanter. Thank you very much for your attention. Goodbye.
Hello again and welcome back to English Today. And this is DVD 22 and the 5th and last DVD of your advanced level and the series. And in this DVD, you will see another 2 episodes of our story, That's Life, followed by some more special TV programs. This time, our sports expert will be talking about Wimbledon. And then our culinary experts will be talking about wine tasting. Then, in the grammar section, we'll study some more useful phrases for when you're socializing and other ways of expressing probability using likely and unlikely. All right? So enjoy your viewing. Hello and welcome back for another lesson. And in this lesson, we're going to look at some more socializing language. You know, those set expressions that we use when we socialize with people. But first, let's join Anne and Edward. Now it's night time, and they're tiptoeing around the flat. Tiptoeing means walking around on their toes without making a noise. Let's go and hear what's happening.
Anne!
Hi.
I'm so happy you have accepted my invitation.
What a strange voice you have. I almost wouldn't have recognized you.
It's the thrill. You can't imagine how I've longed for this moment.
Oh, really? You don't say. To be truthful, I'm rather emotional myself.
Oh, I'm glad you feel that way.
Slow down, boy. I really don't want to wake the others.
Oh, the others. Never mind. Who cares if they find out?
Actually, I'd rather they didn't. You know how I am. I'm shy and reserved.
Oh, what a pity. I know. And that's why I'm crazy about you. Reserved with the others. But you are a tiger when it comes to what you want.
Come again?
Oh, you know exactly what I'm speaking about.
Let's light a candle. I want to see your face.